Hello everyone, this is Adityapatange, CA finalist. In this video, I will be talking about my strategy regarding law and how I was able to get exemption in the first attempt despite failing in all the other papers. The first and foremost reason of why people are struggling in law is because of the paper presentation. They know all the provisions, but they are not able to present it in the proper way. I will be sharing you in this video on what is the right approach of you writing an answer, like how you should write the provision, how should be the analysis of the case, and how the conclusion should end. I will take up a question which appeared in the November 23 attempt, which was relating to CSR committee. I will show you the question, the answer written by my friend, by which she lost marks, and I will also show you where I had written the answer of the same by reading the CSR and how I would have presented in the exam so that the examiner would have awarded maximum marks. So stay tuned for it. You guys have to do is understand the question, understand what the question is asking, and then answer it. So let's read the question once and try to understand what the question is expecting. There was a company, Herbal Wellness Products. It had a paid up capital, authorized paid up capital of 300 crores and a paid up capital of 200 crores. And this was actually for the calculation of the net worth. And they had a turnover of 700 crores and the net profit was 4 crores. So basically, the board of directors consist of these many members, of which the CSR committee consist of these 4 members. Here, 1 MD and 2 independent and 4 executive. And these were the CSR committee members. And the company proposed these are the places where the company had spent its CSR amounts, where one was for employee benefits, and one was for political party donation, and one was for COVID pandemic, and one was like child and women education. So let's try to understand what the question was asking us over here. On what there was a contention by the CCO that even though the company's turnover is less than 700 crores, they need to make a CSR committee. The question is asking, why should CSR committee be made despite the turnover being 700 crores, because the limit is 1000 crores for CSR. So that is one reason the question is asking you, like, why should the CSR committee be made? And the other was whether the CSR committee, which consisted of the 4 members which I had shown you over here, these 4 members, these 4, so whether they are meeting the criteria and the activities, these 4 activities which they have done, right? Are they in compliance with CSR rules? So this is what question has asked. Let us now go to what my friend had written. So this is the answer sheet of my friend. She got 3 out of 6 in this question. So the first requirement is met. This point was completely not required. The 2% of average net profits of 3 years should be transferred. All this was not required. So she has still included this. And if you go to the next, net profit of overseas branch, and in case of unspent, all this was actually not required because the requirement of question was not this. And when you come down, this was actually the requirement of the question. And yes, this was also not the requirement of file impact assessment of 1000 crores. All this was like unwanted information, this which was not required. So finally, she's ended up getting 3 marks for this. I will show you how you can improvise on this. So this was how I had written. I always divided my answer into 3 parts, saying provision, which is provision as per the Companies Act, and I would include analysis of the case, which is basically the facts of the case, and I would include a conclusion, saying whether it is in compliance or whether there is a non-compliance. Okay, let's now go to the requirement. The requirement was COO's contention about CSR committee. So I just wrote the criteria for a CSR committee to be made. Net worth of 500 crores or more, turnover of 1000 crores or more, net profit of 5 crores or more. So this was the first one. And the second was whether members are eligible for the committee and the criteria has been met. So I wrote the provisions of the CSR committee comprise whether three or more directors, out of which at least one shall be an independent director. The third question was whether the activities proposed are in compliance with the provisions. So I wrote all these expenses which the company cannot include as CSR expense. So activities in the normal course, donation to a political party, activities which are benefiting the employees, and sponsorship basis. So now I come to analysis of the case. Provision is basically you're writing the pure law, which you will be awarded 2 marks out of 6. So analysis is facts of the case. So I wrote the company is having a net worth of 500 crores or more. The contention is not about the turnover but about the net worth over here. And I calculated the net worth saying it is 510 crores. That's it. I went to the next point saying, okay, in this committee, there was one MD, two executive directors, and an employee. The committee did not have an independent director. I didn't write okay non-compliance nothing. I'll keep it in the conclusion. Third criteria was the CSR funds which the company had spent. One was for employee benefits, one was for political parties, one was for PMKs, and one was for promotion of women and children. Finally, the conclusion. Conclusion that CSR committee is to be formed based on the contention that company's net worth is more than 500 crores is valid, because it was the contention based on the net worth and not on the turnover. And the second one, the provisions of the Companies Act is not being satisfied, sorry, because the criteria of minimum one independent director is not there, because all executive directors and an MD was there. So for the third point, two activities of employee benefits and contribution to political parties are not allowed, whereas PM cares and local activities for women and children education is allowed. So this is how I divided my answer in 3 points. The examiner will award 2 marks for provision, 2.5 marks for analysis of case, and 1.5 marks for conclusion. The big question: should we write the section for each answer? I hadn't written a single section for any of the answers despite I scored an exemption. This simply means that you don't need to write the section. What happens in many cases, people remember the section but forget the provision itself. So what is the point of remembering the section and writing the wrong provision? That doesn't work. Plus, if you write a wrong section, the chances of you losing marks is higher. So I would recommend, if you're sure about the sections, go ahead with it. Or if you're not sure, sections won't matter, so don't stress too much about it. And the writing speed is very important, guys. Keep up the speed from the start, because I've seen many people attempting only to 80 to 85 marks despite knowing the entire paper. So keep up your writing pace right from the beginning so that you don't struggle in the end due to lack of time. And as always, as I say in all the videos, RTPs are the must. Last 4 attempts RTP of the law should be done compulsory by each and everybody. That too, writing practice should be done. Reading is not enough. When you write the answer, you know, okay, I should present it in this way. Provision, this should be this. Analysis of the case, this should be this. And the conclusion should be this. So if you practice writing, you will be able to present it in the exam as well. If you only read it and go, your hands will not work in the exam. So write and practice. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. Do comment in the comment box saying like which subject you want me to do next, so that I can bring out strategy for that as well. Jai Anjaneya.